Okay, so the title of our course is Engineering Mechanics Lab. Course code is CE117L. It is one semester course and the credit hour is 1 credit hour course and 3 contact hour. Okay, so in this course there are 4 CLOs. The first 2 are linked with psychomotor domain and the last 2 are linked with cognitive domain. I hope you will know about the CLOs, class learning outcome, and the taxonomy domain. That what is psychomotor? Psychomotor domain is related to skills or doings and the practical work which you people perform in the lab with the help of your hands. And similarly, cognitive domain is that which is related to writing skill, your knowledge about a topic, how you explain a topic, whether you understand a topic or not, and how you explain your ideas, your thoughts about that topic in writing. And it is linked with PLO 9. The first 2 CLOs are linked with PLO 9, and the third one is linked with PLO 2, and the last one is linked with PLO 10. So you will perform experiment in the lab in the first CLO and conduct experiment in a group and individual. In the third CLO is analyze the experimental data. You will extract the data from based on your experiment, and you will analyze the data. And the fourth one is prepare technical report of laboratory environment. When you perform an experiment, then you write it in your copies, in your own writings, and explain it, and also note down the results and write down the tables, observations, and then you analyze that data and write it in your notebook. So how your course will be evaluated? So there are certain things that you must ensure and you must be prepared for. So you can see that lab work, carrying out lab work report, it has a weight of 50%. Okay, hands-on task evaluation, it has a weight of 10 to 20%, while Viva wise is 30 to 40%. So all that combined to make 100%. So we will be giving quiz 1 and quiz 2. There will be 2 quizzes, a written paper of the midterm. Then lab report consists of 10%, 10 marks. In lab assessment, you will be evaluated in the lab when you perform your experiment, and marks will be given to you according to the rubrics. And special task, if any, you will be given a special task, any kind of task, random task, and you will be asked to perform that experiment, and that consists of 20% marks. Task evaluation. Similarly, oral questions of Viva wise. In the Viva, you will be given a task and you will be asked questions that will consist of 10% marks. Alright, so that was about evaluation criteria. I will share this document with you people on the Google Classroom. So now let's come to our weekly lecture schedule. There are 9 to 10 experiments in this course. So the first week consists of introduction to the course, basic concept of engineering mechanics and material testing. And similarly, we have a second experiment is to experimentally find the forces in various parts of a roof truss. Third one is to experimentally find the forces in various parts of wall crane. The fourth one is to verify the law of parallelogram of forces. Fifth one is to verify the law of polygon of various forces. Sixth one is to experimentally determine the center of mass of various figures by experiment and verify your results by calculations. Number 7, to verify the principle of movements in a disk apparatus. Number 8, measurement of reaction and support in statically determinate beam. Number 9, to determine coefficient of friction between various material by inclined surface. I have already discussed this table, and this is the grading criteria. You know that A grade consists of 4 grade points, and similarly F consists of 0. So Engineer Tahir has already shared the book with you people in the Google Classroom, so you can take help from that book. Alright, now we come to our experiment. So the first experiment that we will be demonstrating here is to verify the principle of movements using disk apparatus. So what is the objective of this experiment? The objective of this experiment is to verify the principle of movements, which state that if a number of coplanar forces acting on a body keep it in equilibrium and their movements are taken about any point in their plane, the sum of clockwise movement is equal to the sum of anti-clockwise movement. It is simple. It means that if we have certain forces and that forces are coplanar forces. Coplanar forces mean that the forces that are acting on the same plane. Okay, so from the figure you can see the disk apparatus. Here it is the disk apparatus, and you can also see a free body diagram here. So this is a pivot point, this is a scale, right, and this is a fulcrum or pivot point. And if certain weights are hanging from this rod, you can see that there are F1, F3, F2, F4 acting downward. So these are coplanar forces, that all the forces are acting downward on the same plane. Okay, so if this body is in equilibrium, it means that the forces that are causing clockwise movement is equal to the forces that are causing anti-clockwise movement. So the movement at the right side should be equal to the movement at the left side, or we can say that these movements are causing the clockwise rotation, so clockwise movement, and the forces F2 and F4 are causing anti-clockwise movement. So the sum of clockwise movement should be equal to the sum of anti-clockwise movement. Okay, in the lab we are performing this experiment using the disk apparatus. So what is a disk? A disk is free to rotate about its central. It is a metal disk, and it is free to rotate about a certain center point. You can see here that you can see a screw here. So this disk rotate about this freely. It is a frictionless disk. Okay, so we have a scale here. You can see a horizontal scale here, and hangers, various hangers. So the hangers on the right side of this this center point, that will be causing clockwise movement, while the hangers that is to the left side of this fulcrum point or pivot point, that will be causing anti-clockwise movement. So you can understand from this figure that the sum of clockwise movement should be equal to sum of anti-clockwise movement in the case when this whole assembly is, when this whole system is in equilibrium, right? Okay, so now come to the theory part. So the principle of movement states that if a number of coplanar forces acting on a body keep in equilibrium and their movements are taken about a point in their plane, the sum of clockwise movement should be equal to the sum of anti-clockwise movement, already discussed. So what is movement? Movement is the sum of F cross D. Alright, it is the product of F cross D. F is the force, where D is the movement arm or distance. Okay, which distance? It is the distance from the force to the pivot point or to the fulcrum or to the origin. Okay, we will consider the pivot point as an origin. So the sum of clockwise movement should be equal to the sum of anti-clockwise movement. Now we will prove this by practical experiment. So procedure, what is the procedure of this experiment? So first of all, you will check whether the disk is frictionless or not, whether it is free to rotate or not. So you will rotate the disk, and then you will take four hangers and weight the hangers. Alright, first of all you have to weight the hangers and note down the weight of the hangers. Then there are holes in the disk, in various parts there are holes in the disk. So you have to fix the hangers to any hole, random holes, 2 to the right side of the pivot point and 2 to the left side of the pivot point. You can take any distance, and then place certain weights, known weights on all the four angles. Alright, so the disc will adjust itself and it will be after a moment it will come to equilibrium. Now all you have to do is to note down the reading of the weights and call it F1, F2, F3, F4, whether it is on it is in pounds or it is in either it will be in pounds or it will be in newtons. Okay, so if you have mass, so you will be multiplying that mass with g, so it will come to a unit in the units of force. Okay, so now since the disc is in equilibrium, now you have to measure the horizontal distance, which is the movement arm, and you will note the distance from the scale present in the disc apparatus. Alright, so you will note down the individual distance of each force, and then you will multiply that distance with the force and add the forces, add the moments on either side, and you will compare that either they are equal or not. If they are equal, then it proves that it verifies the principle of movement, and if they are not equal, then it means that we have done some error. Okay, so procedure. Hang various loads on the picks provided on the disc apparatus, such as some of them should be on the right side, producing clockwise movement, and some on the left hand side, producing anti-clockwise movement of the center of the disc. Now let the disc come into equilibrium, that is, it will become stationary, and note down the loads and calculate clockwise movement and anti-clockwise movement using the formula W3L3 plus W4L4 should be equal to W1L1 plus W2L2. That is, sum of clockwise movement should be equal to sum of anti-clockwise movement, and their difference should be equal to 0. Okay, what precautions you will be keeping in mind? The hangers or weight should not touch the disc or the scale and should hang freely. Okay, if it touches the disc, then what will happen? It will resist the motion of the disc and it will not be in true position. Okay, so it should be freely hanging, and it should not touch the surface of the disc. The disc okay, also the weight should not touch each other, since they are very close to each other, so that you will be keeping in mind that these weights should also not touch each other. The disc should rotate freely around the axis. There should be no friction in the disc, and it should rotate freely around the axis. Reading should be taken after the disc has become stationary. Okay, once the disc becomes in equilibrium, so you will now note down the readings, and you must be taking at least 3 readings at different positions. Okay, so you will change the movement arm, and then you will note the reading. Also you can change the weights and will note the readings. So here is the tables, results, tables of observation. So you have 4 weights, W1, W2, W3, W4. You will note down here, and then L1 corresponding to W1 from the pivot point, L2 corresponding to W2 around the pivot point, similarly L3 and L4. Now you will see that which forces are causing clockwise movement and which forces are causing anti-clockwise movement. So you will sum the forces which are causing clockwise movement, and then you will also sum the forces that are causing anti-clockwise movement. You will sum the movements at the right hand side and at the left hand side, which is clockwise movement are caused by W3L3 plus W4L4. You can give it any name, either it should be W1L1 or W3L3. It is not a hard and fast rule that these are constants. You can give it any name according to your choice. And similarly, anti-clockwise movement. So you will see that this moment will be equal to this moment. Alright. So you will note down at least 3 readings. You can also take 4 readings, and you will write it here. Alright. So this is a simple experiment, and
Yes, sir.
I hope you have understand it, and I also hope that you have studied this experiment in your FSC physics or in school physics.
Yes, sir.
No, sir, il PC un sir di corona di prima parte.